OutBreak is a top-down survival shooter. A second glance. My thought was this was a Hotline Miami with zombies. I say a second glance because at the first glance I couldn't really see anything. Despite having a really nice big monitor, I tend to watch a game preview videos on Steam, minimized, as I'm also scanning the other information on the game page in my own personal. I get a sense of its routine. In that mode, looking at the videos and the screenshots of OutBreak, it looked like a black with some multiple purple and red smears. You should not be put off by the first screenshot because when playing the game, hopefully, you also have a nice big monitor. The game creates a very nice visual atmosphere, despite the fact that this game is an indie title, which title screen has a large blocky bloodstains on its lettering and the pixelated city. The in-game graphics are smooth and tidy. Characters and zombies are rounded like a prison architect rather than the pixels on the Hotline Miami. And indeed, those muted colors are a far cry from the neon shriek of Hotline Miami. So why that second impression? Largely because its top-down involves shooting and makes very clear intending difficulty. You have one life and limited time in which to plan your strategy for rapid transit for each level. You should expect to die later. The read like Hotline Miami designs a document. However, if the game was any form of inspiration for the sole developer of this game, it's very well hidden. OutBreak very quickly reveals its homepage and inspirations and wears them on its tatty blood sleeve. It's Resident Evil as done by one person studio. The introduction story is right out of Raccoon City Unfortunate History block, down to the Tell Show written backstory that looks like Razzie 2. Pressing start results in an ominous tone and a voice outbreak just like the first Resident Evil, particularly the Japanese original, which intoned Biohazard. The hardest difficulty mode is actually called Biohazard, and features a relentless stalking enemy which cannot be killed but outmaneuvered. And perhaps somewhat predictability, there is a Master of Unlocking achievement. There is also a 4-player online coupe, which should prompt also comparisons to Left 4 Dead or Killing Floor, except those titles focused on mobility. This isn't, despite the 4-player mode, it's still Resident Evil. Aiming means you should stop and cannot move. Turning around is a laborious rotation, no quick 180-degree turn here. So the question is, how does this work? If you found the ability to walk and shoot simultaneously in Resident Evil 4, a revelation can never go back to being a rotating tower. Probably not. If you have a fond nostalgia for the old Resi controls, you'll probably buy into it here as strategic consideration and part of the challenge of the game. Personally, I was also thrown off by the tutorial. This introduction level, you spend some time exploring before getting into an area with mindless zombies. However, the main game is just the constant pressure of infinite enemies. That's no bad thing, but I was expecting a balance of exploration and panic, which I think I would have enjoyed. However, once I got into it, I got it, and I found a surprising amount of depth, inventory space which is limited. You cannot simply fit the arsenal of a small nation into your pockets. Combat is the aforementioned Razzie style, so you must learn the rhythm of your trigger and inventory based on reloads on the fly. There are melee weapons such as knives and axes, which do differ amount of damage, and all of them are easier to use to keep monsters at bay than firearms. However, they will break after a number of uses. There are also colored medicines, which not actual herbs will be familiar in their effects and need to combine for different results. The limited inventory space need to heal. Fight and have keycards will lead you to dropping important items by memorable landmarks, although the automap does helpfully keep track of these for you as well. Perhaps the most ingenious addition and the mechanic which in the end makes sure it all works is the ability to drop a barricade. You can't just hole up in a room, as you will not be able to progress and eventually run out of supplies as the monsters knock them down. However, they can buy a precious few moments to reload or simply turn around. While there is depth in combat and level planning, there is no depth in the puzzles, which really aren't puzzles at all. A door needs a red keycard, so you go get the keycard. However, again, that's not really a criticism as it's in the place of the game. There really would not be time for real puzzles. The developer promises that no two playthroughs will be alike. However, this is because ammo and enemies will spawn in different places. The map and the main quest items, however, are always in the same place. And this is necessary as the approach to this game is very much to learn the ultimate layout for each through multiple depths of each level through multiple depths and make it through the next time through a combination of a few knowledge and point in time reactions. As I played this on a review copy, multiplayer servers do not seem to be up. At least I could not find a game. It will be interesting to see how the cameras works in the multiplayer. However, in single player mode, it has a spunky-like Morifice that will see multiple last go attempts at besting its levels. Surprisingly well designed with a well balance between inventory management, level-wide planning, and on-the-fly judgment calls. You don't buy this for the story. For an indie title over USD, there's enough here to keep you playing longer than you think. Multiplayer was not tested at the review. There's enough to keep you playing longer. Resident Evil Outbreak gets a 7 out of 10. This is Red Wolf 316 signing out, and I'll see you next time.